Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and The Hunt for Wolverine, Mystery of Madripoor, Mystery in Madripoor, issue number 1 of 4. Okay, so we got I believe this should be the final of the first issues. There's supposed to be the 4 issues of each of these 4 comic book titles that are going to lead into something else that will lead into an actual Wolverine series again. And yes, we do know for certain now that it's got to be that Logan coming back from the dead is going to take the name Wolverine again, because we've already seen, Marvel always does this, they gave us the cover for the new all new Wolverine series that will actually be called X-23 again. So okay, cool, Laura is taking that name again. Enjoy the name. Wolverine deserves the name Wolverine back. Just done and done. Anyway, wow, what an amazing comic book. So Jim Zub is writing this. So of course I've got 0 issues with the writing. I really don't want to focus too much on the writing if I can. I want to actually talk about some of these other guys. For instance, Thony Silas. Is that Thony or is it Tony Silas? Brother, I am not trying to butcher your name, so I'm not going to make too many attempts. But yeah, Mr. Silas, I'm impressed. Look, the art in this, some people may have some problem with like the faces or the character design or whatever, but you got to pick and choose your battles. Psylocke's face, if I had to make one complaint about the art, is that Psylocke's face looks an awful lot like Cruella de Vil. That's not that big of a problem because Cruella's hot in her own little ways. I'm putting that out there. She's Nova Prime. Go and look up the actress who played there, and you'll have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, the art in this is interesting, and it took maybe 2 or 3 page turns in order to actually appreciate it. And the thing that I appreciate most about it are the fight scenes. Yeah, Mr. Silas has a way of demonstrating fighting stances. I don't know if this guy was ever in the martial arts, but I was in the martial arts since I was 8, and I'm telling you right now, this is some of the most beautiful martial arts stances, like Japanese martial arts stances I've seen. I offhand, I can't think of better ones, except for like actual, I don't know about fighting scrolls, but seeing some of the scrolls that depict the fighting styles, mostly out of like Shaolin. This looks a lot like that, except with a Japanese slant on it, and it's gorgeous. Like, you look at the art, when the characters are just sitting around, their body postures and everything are great, and they tell a story, even if there were no words here. You could see like the way that Rogue is turning away from everybody, that she's got some compunctions about being here. You can see the sly, sort of offhanded way that Domino is looking back at everybody, and she doesn't trust these guys. Yes, the words later on do show that she doesn't trust them, and maybe Rogue's heart isn't into this as much as it should be, but for the most part, you really don't need the words in order to describe the feelings that these guys have. It's awesome. The story itself leads to everybody wondering, can we trust Magneto or not? Kitty Pryde, if you remember, actually started this whole hunt for Wolverine because the body went missing. You go back and check out Charles Soule's The Hunt for Wolverine one-shot, which actually leads into all these 4 tie-ins. And yeah, you get to see what's up. So it's cool to see the team that she's on, and she's literally taking charge of the team. If I had to complain at one point about the writing, it is the way that Kitty Pryde treats Domino and the way that Domino just kind of falls into place. This is less of the Greg Pak and what's her name, Gail Simone Domino. It's the less carefree Domino in this, and it's more of the Domino of yore, where she would be like, just, you cross her the wrong way, you're dead. The conversation is over. Your heartbeat stops because she just killed you. That's the kind of Domino vibe that I'm getting off of this, which is awesome. It's just that little interaction. And I think Storm also had a word of negativity against Domino also. It's like, we don't trust you, but hey, we're going to, assign you to do this and this and this, and then we're going to trust you to do that. Not cool. Either you're all in it or you're not. Storm does mention, though, it's like, she was actually a friend of Logan also, so I doubt she's trying to screw him over. Anyway, There is a return. If you guys read Volume 2, especially those earlier issues of Volume 2 Wolverine, oh my God, this is awesome. There's so much here. Tiger is mentioned. The artwork is perfectly. If you had to, give a compliment to Mr. Silas again, it's perfectly emulated in a small, let me just show you the picture. Just look at that. If you remember the old comic books, man, like with Tiger in it and Patch, that wasn't Logan. That wasn't Logan until all of a sudden Jessica Drew showed up with her short hair and said, I know who you really are. I always knew who you really were. No, that's awesome that was represented. Like, look, same artist drawing both, right? That's amazing. I'm digging it. So, this is, besides there being an amazing battle in here, the main villain, like everything, this is the ladies' night issue, okay? The only guy in this is actually the bartender, and even him I'm a little bit curious about, all right? Everybody in here is a female, and you're not going to recognize it if you've read this before I said something. I doubt you'll even notice, because like that's how well this was written. The fight scene is amazing. It's utterly amazing. The way that like Viper just shows up with her new team and just takes everybody down. And Sapphire Styx is here, which that's actually cool. I remember her from way back in the day also. Very cool. Again, this is the art. This is the art telling the story, not the writer telling the story. And when Sapphire Styx goes up against what's her name? Psylocke in this. It's good. It's kind of compelling. It's like you're seeing it, and it's like, oh my God, make it stop. Make this destruction stop. And I had to laugh because Psylocke does her typical thing again. Oh, you resisted this, and this, but you can't resist my psychic dagger, which is the total focus of my, psychic potential. She gets completely cut off, and I actually had to laugh. I actually had to give a good hearty chuckle. Yes, sometimes I do hearty chuckles. Those still exist. But I did laugh at that. It's like, wow. Yeah, I really didn't want to read that whole thing again because, again, I am an old Claremont X-Men fan from way back. And, she said that every single issue, man. Every single issue. So it was good seeing that. It was a reminder, hey, I always said this, but I kind of got choked out in the middle of saying it. The best part of this comic book, though, was in the early middle part of the comic book because they go and they're able to talk to the bartender and get a safe space, basically, that, a hideout so that nobody knows where they are. And most of the characters there get to take a trip down memory lane. Storm takes and what's funny about this is that the three characters who take a trip down memory lane are the three characters who get beaten up and don't actually make it out alive. No, I'm sure they're not dead, but they don't make it out alive. They get knocked out at the end of this. So that means in later issues, in the following issues, we're probably going to see more memory lane stuff, an entire page devoted to memory lane stuff there. So that was actually a very interesting choice to have these three characters who are taken out by the end of this issue have a memory of Logan with some tactile thing. Storm has a very good one. She actually has a little Black Panther statue that just perfect, right? Perfect. Where she gives this as a peace offering so that Wolverine can actually have some clarity of thought, which was interesting because it's kind of like a soft retcon to way back in the day, like the original, if you read Classic X-Men or Giant Size X-Men issue number 1 and X-Men number 94 and so on, like that. Thunderbird was forgotten to be mentioned in this. No problem. Comic Book University, Thunderbird, explained in a minute. Professor Bill takes care of you, brother. Anyway, so yeah, we actually have that, and it's cool because Wolverine actually saved this trinket, this memento, and it fills Storm with about as much warmth as I think it resonates onto us. Psylocke just has a cool moment that she remembers with Wolverine looking at the armor and the what's it called? Not Tetsubishi. What the heck is it called? The Tengu face mask that the Oni face mask that the samurai would wear to psych out their opponents. So that's a cool one, but the best one had to be with Rogue. The absolute hands down best one was with Rogue because Rogue finds a letter that Carol Danvers wrote to Wolverine way back in the day, right before she left as binary, Warbird, whatever, to go and join the Shi'ar. And in the letter, this is a soft retcon, but it's one that kicks you right in your teeth. Carol Danvers, mind you, at the lowest point of her life, actually writes this letter to Wolverine and says, I wouldn't be upset if you killed her, basically. It's not said like that, but it's undeniably implied. And one, it paints Carol, who's not even in this comic book, as more human, because who wouldn't think that? She took everything from me. She took my powers, she took my memories, she took my life. And for Charles to betray me by taking Rogue in, that's not cool. So yeah, like, it painted her as more human, which I absolutely loved. And more than that, it gives Rogue the idea that Wolverine never told her this. Why would he? He's Wolverine. The guy's got more secrets stuck up in here. He's forgotten more secrets, literally, than he's ever, than most people will ever know. So the fact that he didn't kill her, he didn't teach her a lesson, he treated her like an equal. They've had amazing missions together, amazing adventures together. That's really cool to see that. That humanizes Wolverine and Carol in an amazing way. And of course, Sean, the artist, humanizes Rogue with the looks on her face as she's reading the letter. This comic book gets nothing less than an A+. This was great. I loved every single aspect of this comic book. This was, for all intents and purposes, it was perfect. It is not an insult at all to say that the Mystery in Madripoor is right now my favorite of the 4 smaller ones. That's not an insult at all, because they're all really good. They're all really good. But this one has to be my favorite so far, just based on the issue 1s alone, the first issues alone. This is awesome. Love the Greg Land cover. Absolutely gorgeous. I think Michelle Rosenberg also did the colors on this. Looks like it. But anyway, yeah, all intents and purposes, great comic book going in my collection. That's it for me, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.